The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
Man, that bass drum really, slaps hard, as the
Giving
kid
offense is essential there, Sam.
likes to say. And yes, giving offense is essential. Speaking of, good evening to everyone who is apparently offended that I
no. Did we offend somebody, Sam?
Well, apparently we offended a few conservatives because, like,
Oh no, not the conservatives.
Oh, no.
We offended the Oh no, what? Tell us more, Sam. What can we do?
Well, apparently first they're mad at you because you actually watched AOC's Instagram stream and actually had an intelligent take on it. And also, people are mad at me because for the past couple of years now, I've actually there have been moments where I've actually instead of criticizing Bill Maher,
Begrudgingly, you've said he's done a good job a couple times, yeah. And you pointed out that you're very critical of him, and that was a big point of your show for many years.
Yeah,
criticizing Bill fucking Maher.
Yeah, that was like a weekly thing for me. Was I used to do a segment where I would kind of do a smarmy comedic retort to his smarmy comedic bit.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the crazy thing is it's scary when the far woke left thinks that Bill Maher is now
oh, he's a Nazi, right?
He's suddenly a conservative now.
Yeah,
they're mad, but Cenk is helping.
Yeah.
Fuck off. I get it. Look, I've criticized some of the people Trump has put into his cabinet at this point, right? I criticized Tulsi. I think her record on, and then it's funny because they all those same people who would criticize me, they all love Tulsi. But did they hear Tulsi a couple years ago say she supported house to house gun confiscation? Do you love that?
No, and even when she was on Joe Rogan's podcast a few years ago, I said back then, I'm I like the fact that she's the one liberal who's willing to go on Joe Rogan's podcast and have a good conversation, but I'm not sure about her gun policy, and I'm also not sure about what I'm not sure about.
I've always respected that she's vehemently anti-war. And let's just cut to the fucking chase of it, Sam. I'm willing to talk to any anti-war leftists out there that aren't completely insane.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then I mean, if you're pro-war or something, but I don't know, all the anti-war, the actual not the anti-war left from the Iraq days when Bush was president, but I mean the actual anti-war people like Jill Stein, your friend, I can't even remember his name a couple weeks ago that came on the show. These are people that stayed consistently anti-war, okay? And maybe they have differences on what we could do domestically, and that was this contention. But him and I agreed on the concept that if we stop spending trillions of dollars on all these fucking wars, we might be able to afford some programs at home.
That's why we're broke for home.
Yeah. And
I don't know. It's not that crazy to me. You know why they're going to let Cenk help? Because who better to say what cuts to the Pentagon they could make than fucking Cenk? He's been critical of them forever.
Right.
RFK. RFK's a lefty, and I've made fun of him extensively on this very show.
For the brainworm thing.
Yeah, well, also...
But I will say this. When it comes to the topic of health, he is very serious about it.
Yeah.
And I've always said that.
Yeah, although if I'm honest, and by the way, hello to Chibi in chat, a long time. No,
shout out to Chibi. Happy birthday this week, by the way, as well.
Happy belated birthday. I love the memes of RFK, like, because Trump basically did like he made Chris Christie eat the
meatloaf.
Eat the meatloaf. Well, apparently he made RFK eat the Big Mac this week.
Yeah, I saw that
on Air Force One. Like Trump and JD Vance are on I guess Trump Force One, and then RFK Jr. is there, and he's kind of like, do I have to eat this? And
do I want to eat this? Do I have to? Come on.
So that's called hazing.
Yeah. So
I'm pro bullying. Like, we need to bring bullying back.
That's called hazing and team building. Damn it.
Yeah.
Building.
So
you will eat the Big Mac and you will like it. That's how the left views it, right? Because he's Hitler.
Yeah,
did they forget that he was Hitler, by the way? It seems like a lot of the ones who were saying it the most don't seem to believe it.
You will eat
Morning, Joe.
You'll eat the Big Mac.
Yeah, well, so
you're gonna eat the Big Mac. It's gonna be tremendous. It's gonna be the best Big Mac you ever ate.
Well,
you will eat the Big Mac and you will own guns.
Well, and considering like how expensive Big Macs are, I mean, now it's like RFK shouldn't be looking a gift horse in the mouth.
Well, literally, Sam. They've done studies that most Americans think of fast food now as a luxury item.
Yeah, which is crazy because like that's how my grandparents used to look at it back when it was like affordable, like 50 cents. But like now it really is.
Well, because when McDonald's came out, it was a treat. That was the marketing, right?
Yeah.
But if you notice, in the 80s, it became like you can eat every meal at McDonald's now, right? You don't need anything but us. And then all the other fast food options cropped up. It's interesting. If you know about Rome, this happened a lot before the fall of Rome as well, where all these different, like, I'm not kidding, like these different food markets, because like the average guy in Rome who works doesn't have time to cook, right? Because he's basically working on slave wages, right? And so like these market stalls will sell you like pre-made street food, right? And when there was the most of them and people were not cooking at home, peaked right before the empire fell. And then of course those foods quickly, when the empire is falling, became a luxury item. So I'm just hoping that the new emperor can like roll it back a little bit so we can afford to eat some stuff. That'd be nice. Yeah. I'm starving, Sam. I'm starving myself kind of on purpose for my diet and everything. So don't mind me on that. But yeah, food prices are outrageous.
Yeah.
Outrageous. I've had to start rationing our chicken out a little bit. It used to be like, man, I'll have 2 pieces of chicken for us tonight. Now it's like, well, I probably should cut that one in half, because it's a bit expensive.
Yeah. I mean, you and Maxine have both talked about like one of you, there have been times where like one of you has, forgotten a meal so your, kid can eat, which is what a loving parent would do. But it's crazy that this is America and that's, that was something that like you would hear about like, China or Africa.
Well, if you're not poor enough, you don't get enough help. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing.
Yep.
And this is why I want to talk to the left, because the left brings this kind of shit to the table. Okay, they're talking about the people that slip through the cracks a lot of the time, and these are topics we can actually talk about. Or like, okay, RFK, it seems to be more in the mind of reformation in terms of like the SNAP program, rather than just let's get rid of people's food stamps. That's not what he's saying at all. He's saying like, let's rethink what this program is for, what's its purpose, right? And maybe we could find a better way to get people fresher, healthier food.
Yeah, let's actually improve the proverbial government cheese to actually
because that's going to drive healthcare spending down, and that's why Big Pharma hates this so much. And you know me, Sam, I'm not a conspiracy-minded guy, but corpos, that's one I am in. And the conspiracy here is that yes, Big Pharma wants you more to be sick rather than healthy.
Right. It's
because they need to sell you
not
the
a healthcare model.
And that's like, honestly, like people kind of like made fun of my mom for years because she's a conservative, but she did all this, alternative, holistic, a lot of what people would consider like hippie type, stuff. But like, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing so well.
Well, you've touted acupuncture, yeah.
Yeah.
Even Shmuley gave you shit about that, and you're like, look, man, it works for me.
Yeah.
And what's a better example than the cripple guy telling you, hey, it makes me feel better. I trust that, because why would you put yourself through that otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not a guy who likes needles either, but and also it's not the same thing as they're not the same needles as like American needles, but that's a whole nother thing.
Well, they're not like the kind that you get a shot with at all. It doesn't feel like that at all, for sure.
But so anyway, getting back to what I got a lot of shit for in terms of like comment. So the left has been scratching their heads since the election, being like, my God, how did we lose? How did we lose? Kamala Harris was the perfect candidate, and like they're like legitimate leftists who think this, and yet Bill Maher was like, no, she's not. And so he put out like a very good monologue this week, which I'd like to play for everyone. And
quick shout out before you jump right to Bill Maher to also people like Jimmy Dore, right?
Yeah.
Russell Brand, who come from the left and are out there putting out content, and they're critical of the mainstream left as well. Like, that's who we should be talking to these people. And Bill Maher finally kind of, and in some ways he's been eating crow on some of this stuff. No, Sam?
Yeah, he has eaten some crow on some of this stuff. And so that's why I always say, like, I even told more, like, hey, even when someone, I disagree with, says something that's like correct, I'll give them due credit where credit is due. And then Moore asked if the Krasensteins would ever, do something like that. And I said, well, there's a good chance that like you and I will both walk before that happens.
You said walk without assistance. Yeah, that was great. My wife and I were laughing out loud at your tweet, Sam. It was pretty funny.
We'll both walk without assistance. But hey, if the Krasensteins ever admit that, hey guys, we were all got this, then Moore and I will both give them the okay, But
there's other reasons we would talk to the left that we can get into after as well. But hey, Bill has been telling them what the big problem from this election is for at least a couple years now, and you've pointed that out. And if people are offended by us agreeing with it, then I dare them to sit through this with us now and point. Like, if you're watching now, if you're watching later, in the comments, tell us what you disagree with what Bill Maher says.
Tell us where he's wrong.
So, and obviously, I'll pause this at certain points for commentary purposes.
Well, we'll clearly say where we think he's wrong and all that. But I'm saying, if you think he's way off base and we shouldn't even like reach out and olive branch to these people, I would just like to know like what he's off base about specifically, because I think that's helpful to the discourse.
Yep. So starting off,
Okay, and finally, new rule. Someone must tell the usual suspects on the far left that the saying is, when you're in a hole, stop digging, not keep digging. Talk about doubling down on what got you fucked in the first place. Even the one concession I've heard a few people on the losing side offer, that liberals should stop saying the Trump voters are stupid, comes with a kind of unspoken parentheses. We know they are stupid, just don't say it.
Okay, now, believe it or not, that right there is where a lot of conservatives are already like turning off the segment because they're like, well, he's calling us stupid, and I'm like, well, that's
no, he's parroting their talking points back at them.
Right, and also like he is doing his comedic bit a little bit. So like, you know, again, this is the thing.
Well,
like,
it's a monologue from a comedy show. Of course, he's gonna make jokes. Oh no, we can't make jokes, Sam. We can't make jokes at the expense of conservatives. Their feelings might get hurt, and they might act like snowflakes. Go ahead.
Conservatives have feelings? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got bad news for you. They don't have a monopoly on stupid. You wear Queers for Palestine t-shirts.
Yes, Bill, let's go.
And masks 2 years after the pandemic ended. And you can't define woman, I mean person who menstruates. You're the teachers union education party, and you've turned schools and colleges into a joke. You just lost a crazy contest to an actual crazy person.
That's a good joke, Sam.
Yeah.
Real recognize real. That's good.
Yeah.
You love to speak truth to power, and we always should, but you have completely lost the ability to speak truth to bullshit. The Democratic polling firm Blueprint told Democrats months ago that black voters, aka their supposedly liberal base, were more likely to find the president too liberal than too conservative.
Okay, now that's a point that like Max and I have also talked about is like we know, you know, black
My God, a lot of
people-
minorities have faith, Sam. What a shock.
Yeah.
What a shock that there's a big proportion of all the different racial groups in this country, including even Asians, who are very faithful to their religion, and so tend to think that it's more often they're going to think that it's too liberal, even if they're not a conservative. You see what I'm saying?
Right. It's almost like minorities have a brain or something, right?
Or like we can point to a specific set of beliefs that they generally have and say, you know, these things that they believe are unshakable in the type of people who are like Christian, for example. Shockingly, a lot of these minorities are Christian. Wow. And they don't like some of the stuff that's happening in their communities. And they don't like the economy being shitty either.
So this
because, that affects people of color as well.
So this gets even better.
They also found that voters didn't just want Harris to distance herself from Biden. They wanted her to distance herself from what they believe the entire Democratic Party has become, a Portlandia sketch. A bunch of privileged mean girls complaining about privilege and trying to make fetch happen. What a shocker that the people who see everything through the lens of race and sex see their election loss as a result of racism and sexism. Yes, if only we weren't so irredeemably unenlightened, we would have elected a black president by now. Oh, what, we did? Oh, right, and then re-elected him. Maybe you missed it because it wasn't on TikTok.
Get called out, Zoomers.
Sexism?
Yep.
Hillary got 3 million more votes than Trump, which in a normal country would be called a victory. It wasn't...
You're salty, aren't you?
It
Very
wasn't
salty.
21st century sexism that prevented a woman from being president. It was the Electoral College. Democrats run for office as if the voters don't live here, as if they don't go to the grocery store and Starbucks and the office, but they do. They live here. and they actually see women and people of color. And it doesn't look like some patriarchal racist nightmare. Do problems remain pertaining to racism and sexism? Of course. But a poll last year asked, if America is the greatest country in the world, more blacks and Hispanic Americans agreed with that than the white progressives.
Which is like, that's
Of course, yeah.
which is actually like, that's sad, but that's also not shocking. Like when he showed that show, I'm like, yeah, this totally checks out.
Bro,
So,
like you see my Eagle USA shirt, you know, where I get the most props for it is from Hispanic bros.
yeah.
They love, like, bro, like, to think that Hispanic people aren't patriotic, or you like, this is what I mean, is like, where are these liberals even, where do they live? That they never seen a minority that's like loves, like for example, like they got all offended on behalf of Puerto Rican people, but it seems like they don't think Puerto Rican people exist.
Well,
Right?
well, they got offended about Tony Hinchcliffe's Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
jokes.
yeah.
All of the Puerto Ricans that I like follow on Twitter, and also are friends with on Facebook, were like, dude, that bit that he did about Puerto Ricans, that was hilarious.
Either they thought it was
So-
funny, or some people were like, well, you know, it wasn't an appropriate joke for the setting, or it wasn't an appropriate joke, but that didn't sway their actual vote. Like, that's what
Right.
they don't get.
And it wasn't Trump that said it.
And they know that. I've been told, I was explained that by Hispanic people, actually. I didn't explain it to them.
Right.
They were talking about it, and they were like, oh, yeah, Trump didn't even say that. That was some comedian, and it was kind of an asshole. Like they said, like, he's kind of an asshole joke, but, like, who cares?
Yeah.
And they will tell you that yes, they think America is the greatest country in the world. Absolutely.
Yep. Continuing on.
It asked if racism is built into our society. White progressives agreed with that at higher levels than black and Hispanic people. It asked if government should increase border security. Same result. Hispanic Americans are less okay with illegal immigration than whitey.
Yeah, and part of the reason why that is, just kind of as an anecdote, so when a friend of the show, Steve Stratton, when he was working with the DA on stuff, they'd have legal immigrants who would have, you know,
They
maybe
know about
info-
fucking cartel crime. If they,
Yeah.
especially if you live in a goddamn border state, they're not. Again, like he said in a previous thing. This is why I say, what's wrong with this? He said they run as if the voters of this country don't even live here. These
Yeah.
people live here. They live on the. I guarantee you, the number is mostly coming from border states.
yeah.
Because they see the rape, the human trafficking, the drug trafficking, the violence. This all comes with the cartels and an open border. And yeah, it's no surprise. Half of Hispanic, and I bet you, if you distinguish, are they voters is the question. Half of Hispanic voters, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know lots of Hispanic, and this is the thing, is Steve Stratton knows lots of Hispanics who fled, you know, to the States to get away from the cartel. Imagine that you've just fled from the cartels, and now you have to worry about the cartels potentially coming into the country.
And then throw in, there's another population of Hispanics that are fleeing communism.
Yeah.
Mainly, I mean, you can mainly point to the Cubans, right? But there's others as well. And that's the thing, is like fleeing communism, you know, fleeing. In the case of even Venezuela, I think some people who come from Venezuela are legit just fleeing communism, but they opened the prisons and sent all them here as well. So they all have to go back, right? Just because some of them might have been fleeing communism at this point, it's like the old famous meme, right? Of we have to figure out what the hell is going on,
Yeah.
who these people are. Anyway, sorry to diatribe there, but it's interesting that they didn't think that Hispanic people care about the border.
Yeah. Which I'm like, well, you know, well, like whereas to me, like that's the most obvious group of people that would care about the border.
Absolutely.
The votes are in. They don't want your pity. And
Right.
black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them. Black people, they're just like us.
Yeah, who'd have thunk?
No way, dude.
Kamala spent 100 days telling voters, I know it feels like crime and illegal immigration are bad, but fuck your feelings. Look at this chart. Yes, there's a lot to not like already about the new regime, but maybe take 1 week to ask what you did wrong. The basis for Democratic campaigns has become, we're the smart people. That we know from the get-go. No need to look into that. We know that a priori, which is a Latin phrase the red hat people wouldn't have a clue about. But they don't need to. Have you seen my "In this house we believe" lawn sign? See, it says right on it, we believe in science. Right, which is why you demanded no one even debate whether COVID could have escaped from the one lab in the one city where they were studying it. How far-fetched. The New York Times called it racist. Democrats have become like a royal family that, because of so much incest, has unfortunately had children who are retarded.
Like the crowd screams.
And the same thing can happen to ideas if they are also conceived in an atmosphere of intellectual incest. Maybe take the clothespin off your noses and actually converse with the other half of the country. No. Stop screaming at people to get with the program and instead make a program worth getting with.
Shut up, bigot.
What good is liberalism if you don't win elections? Last week, Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton said, I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a formerly male athlete. But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that. Yes, there's the problem in a nutshell. Because Congressman Moulton sounds reasonable to me, but his campaign manager immediately resigned in protest. Let me make this as plain as I can to the smart people. The campaign manager who resigned, yeah, let that person go. Marginalize that guy. Try making too woke be a cancelable offense. It's important for America to have a center-left party and for that party to be competitive. And a good first step toward that goal would be to make the voters not want to punch you in the face. I will conclude by saying the reason I'm so mad at the Democrats is because as a voter, the issues that were important to me were democracy and the environment. And now, there's no one to champion or defend either of them because you,
Donald Trump.
That's right.
Just saying.
With your aggressively anti-common sense agenda and shitty exclusionary attitude, blew it. You lost everything. House, Senate, White House, Supreme Court, and left us completely unprotected and ready to be violated. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody! Actually, we're on next week.
All right, so
next week with the series finale before Trump kills us all. No. It's like he said. Like, my God, the idea of having conversations across the aisle, especially when we've won with reasonable people. If that offends you, I have no use for you. Actually,
what?
If somebody's so offended by that they're not going to watch the show, even like, I'm sorry to see you go, but I don't hate to see you leave because you're an idiot.
Right.
And that's why I've got a handful of Twitter followers that I've had since my days in the IWC that we're very, very politically opposed, but we always have respectful intellectual conversation, usually about politics, and we, again, vehemently disagree, but we can always have the conversation.
The algorithm is showing each side the craziest of the other and trying to make us think that that's all that exists. But if you step
Yeah.
outside the fucking algorithm and you talk to normal people, in reality, you see what's going on. And the thing everybody I know talked about, whether they be black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Democrat, Republican, religious, not religious, was the goddamn economy.
Yeah. Well, and also not this past episode with the election live stream, but a few months ago.
Granted, I don't talk to a lot of really rich people. Sorry, Sam.
Well, I don't either anymore. Because a lot of the really wealthy people who I used to know, they don't want to talk to me anymore. I've become persona non grata.
Well, what I mean is I talk to a lot of working class people, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm informed my view from. And maybe, I mean, again, it's all anecdotal, but isn't it interesting that I was right? Like, if you go back, you look at my predictions about the Hispanic vote, you look at my predictions about the black vote. I said 18% for the black vote. I said that on the show, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Do I have a magical fucking ability? No, I looked at what happened the last couple of cycles, right, with the black vote, and I looked at the trends, and then I looked at also, like, I don't know, my hood peoples, right? My hood peoples were pro-Trump. You know why? Because the economy fucking sucks.
Well,
And he's got better memes.
Well, and for me, like a lot of liberals who I vehemently used to disagree with, not all of them, but a lot of people who used to vehemently disagree with me on things like, free speech, and who thought that the right were authoritarian, are actually now on our side, and they voted for Trump this go.
And the thing, and the reaction that the Republicans need to learn from this, if we're to move forward as like the populist party, which the Dems are going to try and do as well. Like, we might talk about how they're not really paying attention and they're out, but like that's what a lot of strategists on the Dem side are talking about now. And in the corporate world, you're seeing them flush DEI, right? Some of them got out ahead of the election because they could smell which way the wind was blowing too.
Which honestly is good. I mean, like, here's the thing.
Well, I'm all for black people getting opportunities in media, but like DEI is not that. DEI is like forcing. It's just it's the worst way to do anything.
Right. Well, not just that. Like, I'm actually for there being, as Bill said, like a central left, being like a center left party where we can like debate and disagree on certain things. No,
I'm against that, Sam. They need to keep. You know what? I don't listen to anything I've said previous to this. Go way more woke, Dems. That's how you'll really kick it to the next gear.
Yeah. Just bring everyone over to our side by doing
your next big platform should be reparations and white people camps and transphobic gulags and all that. Go the full nine.
Yeah, well,
then you're a lock for 2028.
I hate to break it to you, but like they're already like pretty, they're already pretty close to that. So
no, you think? I've always said, like, a lot of people, this is my favorite, is always the meme of like, wake up sheeple, wake up the normies, right? That's been the thing for basically every dissident movement I've ever witnessed and not even been a part of, just seen, right?
Yeah.
It's always, we got to wake up the normies. The only way you wake up normies, right, is exactly how they did it. And it always backfires. Because by waking up the normies, you just mean pissing them off.
Right.
That's all it is. If you're the libertarian guy and you're like, we got to wake up the normies to end Capistan, you're just going to piss them off. If you actually get their attention, you're just going to piss them off. Same for the fascist guys and the like all your weird. If it's that deviant from the system that we have now, that's the way people are going to react to it once you get their attention. See, you can get away with a lot because they won't pay attention is the thing. They'd rather not. They don't like politics at all, normies.
Right.
But you made them get involved, and then you don't like the outcome. Well,
I used to be a normie back in 2020. We know how that turned out.
yeah, man. Most of the people I see that are the most vocal Trump supporters these days didn't vote for him in the last 2 elections. At least one of them. Almost
I
all of
didn't
them.
vote for him in 16, but I voted for him in 20.
Oh gosh, not only that, but like some of the people some of the
Also,
friends,
more millennials came out. Sorry, Sam, than ever too. Just wanted
Yeah.
to throw that.
well, just to kind of balance off Moore's point, some of the people that I know in 2016, they hated Trump,
Mhm.
like because they believed all the talking.
We believe the
points.
bullshit.
The
Wow.
problem I've identified with the left, Sam, on this show is that their religion offers no path to redemption. You don't counter that with no path to redemption. And in fact, if you
Right.
believe yourself to be a Christian, you have to believe that these people have hope for their soul
Well,
Right.
and that they'll see the light and that they'll come to the right side.
well, so that's
because the woke religion doesn't offer redemption. You're right, Max.
Right. And that's why cancel culture was such a problem, is because there was no path to redemption. You were just fucked forever and people didn't like that. We cannot do the same thing.
Right.
And by the way, Bill advocated to cancel the far left people from the left. If you saw, I disagree. Let those people talk all they fucking want, because when you start shutting them up, you give them validity.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, it also goes to so Jordan Peterson had an interesting theory, which is, and I don't know if I fully subscribe to this, but basically when you don't take on a religion like Christianity or Judaism or something that's established and has a calling to a higher power, you make up a religion, and that religion is wokeism for a lot of these lefties.
It usually just basically is government power, right? That's the religion of the irreligious people. And our country was specifically designed to prevent not only the abuse of the religious people, but the irreligious people. That's why we have a secular constitutional republic.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people misunderstand that as like, I think a lot of people
the separation of church and state, meaning that the state just respects the church, but that's never been the case. It's always been that you respect the churches, but you don't favor one. That's all it means.
Yeah, and I also I forget who it was. It was some atheist who actually said this though, but this atheist was asked if like, what about an atheist president one day, and this atheist said absolutely not, because I would want the president to have the fear of like a higher being, perhaps.
That's a good point. Speaking of faith in minorities, Sam, I was telling you before the show, I had an interesting encounter today with some a Hispanic gentleman and lady who clearly Mexican-ish origin. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans around, so I can tell the difference, right? They're not anyway, didn't speak the greatest of English, but he just says, "Oh, I gave this for you." And he hands me this, what I have here, which is, and people might have seen these around. It's like a comic book, and the comic book, it's pretty well illustrated and stuff with like, I don't know how well people can see that. And it's Bible stories. And on the back, it had a sticker that said like, Jesus saves, church or whatever. I don't remember what the church name was, so I gave it the most generic church name ever.
Right.
Either way, these are like, I thought it was pretty cool. And They just said, "Oh, God bless you," and I was like, "Oh, God bless you too. Have a blessed day." And the lady smiled big at me for that one, and that's it. So I got this. Of course, I'm gonna take it. I'm not, Sam. When the Jehovah show up with the Watchtower, I use that as bathroom reading material. I love the Watchtower. You ever read the Watchtower, Sam?
No, but
It's an amazingly fun publication if you don't believe in Jehovah's Witness. Like, there's some cool stuff in there that's interesting to at least read.
Well, hey, look, like
oh no, I'm looking into stuff that's not what I believe personally. How dare I?
Well, hey, look, L. Ron Hubbard. I don't believe in I'm blanking on
Scientology.
Yeah, I don't believe in Scientology, but just from the pure entertainment, value, like the idea that there was a giant space war or something, it does
it's fun.
It is fun. I once made a joke that maybe that's why people joined. It's not because they were actually believing. Maybe because
it's an ironic movement.
maybe it's just because they wanted to be part of an actual cosplay movement.
Well, what do you think? Hold on. What do you? Go ahead, Mort. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to say that maybe they wanted to believe in something, not necessarily standard of what everybody else believes, but they gravitated towards something.
Well, the giant ironic religion cosplay thing, that wasn't L. Ron Hubbard, Sam. That was Anton LaVey. What do you think the Church of Satan is? You think he actually believes in Satan?
No.
It's an excuse to have a naked lady altar, Sam. It's in the book. He says that. Like the whole point is to have a naked lady be your altar and do a fun ceremony, and none of it means anything. That's the whole point of the book.
So it's a simp religion then. I gotcha.
Yeah. It's a simp religion. No, for sure. And it's basically just like edgy libertarianism.
So, but basically Bill Maher gave that monologue, and so that's how woke went broke, which is the title of this episode. Sometimes I don't always explain the episode titles, but there you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, so the criticism, I guess, was what? That you tweeted that you liked his monologue there, and again, yeah. I would ask those people what was wrong with what he said specifically, right? Cite examples.
Specifically that Bill was late to the party, I guess, and my whole response to that is okay.
Better
so
late
what?
Than never.
Better late than never.
There's cripple time, Sam, and then there's retard time, and that could be any time. It might take years. Bill Maher works on retard time. Okay, you gotta let him he's the kid in class, Sam, that you put the three holes in front of him: the square, the rectangle, and the star. And then you give him one of those shapes, and he sticks it up his nose. So Bill Maher took a while to come to reason, but eventually he pulled it out of his nose, and he was like, "Oh my God, it's a circle," and he put it in the circle hole. And you know what you do when a retard pulls the thing out of his nose and puts it in the circle hole, Sam? You give him a sticker.
You applaud the man.
Yeah.
You give him a sticker. He gets a gold star, Sam, because he pulled the fucking thing out of his nose and actually put it in the fucking hole.
Well,
and any leftist that pulls the thing out of their nose and puts it in the hole, I'll give them a gold star.
Same here.
If you have a problem with that, go fuck yourself.
What do we always say on this program? Meet people where they're at.
Not where you want them to be. Well, it would be nice if Bill Maher was our guy from day one. Cares, man.
Well, and to give a little more of a
do you want to be the small tent or do you want to be the big tent? Because the big tent wins elections and the small tent doesn't.
Sorry,
Sam, go ahead.
To give another example, though, I think a lot of the left and not even like the left, but maybe just like a lot of normies, like your wife, for example, when they were coming after your, when the left started to wokeify a lot of your games, she was like, oh, well,
Comics, movies, right? Because the movies weren't the mainstream movies yet.
right.
If you remember, they targeted us nerds that
Yeah.
were into like
Started with the
gaming.
games.
Yeah. And they moved into mainstream culture over time in the music and in the movies. And it's like I said, once you wake the normies up, it's not a good thing because you woke them up by pissing them off.
Yeah. And so that's what, and so
It doesn't make you their friend. You're the one pissing them off.
And so that's what I'm saying too. Basically, and Bill Maher's talked about this on other podcasts too. What happened with him was basically that like the left started to come after him for not being far left enough.
Yeah.
And that was,
and that he didn't go to the Diddy party, But let's continue.
well-
Move on. Yeah, go on.
that too. And it was like wait, now I'm the right winger? Hold on.
Which is a feeling so many Americans have, okay? And
Yeah.
they'll tell you they're politically homeless. And they used to like a guy like Jon Stewart, right? But Jon Stewart doesn't speak for them anymore. In fact, they don't like him very much at all. Jon Stewart speaks to the woke now. So they feel alienated. They feel like there's nobody. Then the right exists, and they even like some of our memes and stuff, right? But there's nobody on the left, like the far left, that is equivalent to like our guys. And then the only people that are like Joe Rogan, and he's basically in the center left. Bill Maher, he's the center left. Jimmy Dore, I'll give it to this, that the Young Turks from the progressive end have come to like our side, so to speak. Chank's willing to help cut spending at the Pentagon. You damn right I'd let Chank.
Oh, hell
Look,
yeah.
I disagree with Chank Uger on a bajillion things.
Same
But
here.
if you tell me he is going to be allowed to take a chainsaw to the Pentagon budget in the
Let's
military
fucking
budget,
go.
let's fucking go.
Yeah.
He wants to be on the team for that purpose, and he said, if I get that done, it doesn't matter who fucking did it. No, it doesn't, sir.
So
It's not the Chank. Who else gets a sticker, Sam?
I think
Jimmy Dore for making
Yeah.
me laugh a bunch of times during his election coverage. He gets a gold star.
yeah,
Not the bad kind though, like a sticker. I just realized that if
well, and then
the kind you give a retarded kindergartner, not the kind you give a Jewish person at a concentration camp, just to be clear.
I have to ask this, Max. What do you think of I had to double check this to make sure this wasn't a shit post. But I have to ask, what do you think of Linda McMahon being named?
Yeah, I like that pick actually, from like an unironic fuck WWE bullshit. She's worked in education for many years in the Board of Education in Connecticut, as well as she has already been the head of the Small Business Bureau under Trump. Okay.
Right, she's already a Trump person.
And she's not been affiliated with WWE. And actually, I don't know if you saw this, Sam, but she sort of put out a statement saying she's been separated from Vince for a long time.
Yeah,
Shocker. Who would have guessed that she's been separated from the pervert that she's married to for a long time?
That's not shocking at all. Also, I do find it
Do you
hilarious.
think he shit on her head, Sam? Do you think he shit on
That's probably why
Linda's
they're
head?
separated.
I
Probably
mean,
why
Yeah.
they're separated.
Is that what caused that would cause a separation.
that would definitely cause a separation. Also, like I've also met Glenn Jacobs before at
Same.
at a Libertarian conference. So it is hilarious for me that we've got Glenn Jacobs.
I met him at a wrestling event, and we stood because I'm the tallest guy in most crowds that I'm in. So the tall wrestlers all came and stood up face to face with me because it seems to be a thing they do, right?
I'll have to go on.
He was like, Way taller than me, Sam.
I'll have to see if I can find it, but there actually is a photo of me shaking Glenn Jacobs' hand. And what's funny is, like, you know, everyone at the conference is dressed in like really nice suits, but he's the one who, like, just because how big he is, he looks like he was wearing a monkey suit, basically. Like his
Bro,
suit.
like you gotta lay off the big
Hilarious.
guys. It's hard for us, okay?
No, it's just comedic. That's all I'm saying.
They like no matter how they tailor the suit when you're over a certain height and like build, like you notice like Glenn's got that wide shoulder build like I got, right? Where it's like they don't make nothing for you, and even if it's tailored, it's all ill-fitting.
That's like a service that I wish someone would like. That's where tailors need to like.
They all do it. Like, think about it. You've seen Shaq in a suit, kind of looks like that. Big Show in a suit looks like that. Andre looked like that. Like, the wide shoulders and the suit is just kind of a weird look sometimes.
Yeah. Anyway, though, I wanted to ask your opinion because
they need tailors for cripples and big guys like you.
Yeah, I think she's. My opinion is, I think she's very qualified for the job, especially with them abolishing the department. She's the perfect person to oversee it. You know.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean.
And also, a thing you notice about all Trump's picks is that they're political outsiders of some variety.
Well, my whole thing is like so I actually didn't know anything at like Linda McMahon's background in education or anything.
Oh, well,
like,
she twice ran for Senate and lost, but she also ran for the Connecticut Board of Education, and she was the head of it for 3 terms or something like that. I don't want to get it completely wrong, but she was the head of Connecticut's Board of Education after she retired from WWE. Also, like, let's be real, she helped build a family business, a local family business, into a worldwide multi-billion-dollar empire. That's
right.
You can talk about Vince all day, but like everybody will tell you he was the creative mind, but Linda was the business mind.
Yeah. Let me see here real quick.
So she always wanted to get into politics, and she's been friends. The McMahons both have been friends with Donald Trump for many, many years.
Oh yeah, well, there are lots of people who are friends with Trump, like, you know.
But I'm just saying that's why she's going to get an appointment in his cabinet. She's been very, close with the Trump family for a long time, and she's qualified for the job.
Yeah, so actually, here's her statement about this, and
it's President Trump's statement about her appointment.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then she has a tweet next to it. So,
I see.
Yeah.
Well, Trump puts her over pretty good in his statement. He says a lot of the same things I said, though.
Yeah, which I actually read, and I'm not going to read this verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was. He does cite that she was, that she served on the Connecticut Board of Education, and also promoted technical schools. And
yes.
So she commented,
technical and trade schools. Yes.
Yeah. So she tweeted, "Thank you, Mr. President, for your trust in me to serve as Secretary of Education, and I'm hopeful of Senate confirmation. I'm deeply honored and humbled for this opportunity, and I am committed to working tirelessly to ensure every student has access to quality education. I've witnessed the transformative power of education, both in the classroom and also in apprenticeship programs. All students should be equipped with necessary skills to prepare them for a successful future. I look forward to working collaboratively with students, educators, parents, and communities to strengthen our education system, including ensuring every child, regardless of their demographics, is prepared for a bright future." Now, that to me does not sound like a joke, someone who's doing this for
you know what? Yeah, you know what else she is, Sam, and why he picked her? She's pro school choice.
Yeah.
Which, for those that are unaware, school choice is the idea that we would do a voucher program rather than right now. You just send your kid to the local school, unless you want to go to a private school or homeschool, right? Under a school choice system, it works more like the charter school programs, where you can send your kid to any school within reasonable distance of you, and they get the voucher for your child from the taxpayer. So essentially, it privatizes education to some level. And if you want to get the kids in, and you want to get that tax money that your school should be getting, then you got to provide a good school environment.
Does
that make sense? Did I explain it well?
Yeah. That was something that I remember back in 2012. Herman Cain proposed actually as part of his.
She was another props to you, Sam. She was part of his campaign team in 2012.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. I actually remember seeing like memes of Herman Cain. Like if he made a WWE guest appearance or something. And yeah,
he ended up doing that too.
Ben, that was part of Ben Carson's platform too, was the school.
It was the Trump 2020 platform as well. So he didn't mention it as much, but we did have a lot going on this election cycle. But it seems like he is bringing in pro school choice people. And the only way to solve abolishing the Department of Education is to do some level of school choice. So you're aware.
Oh yeah. Well, and one of the things
you couldn't do one without the other, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how you're going to funnel the tax. Like the Department of Education right now oversees funneling the tax money. Essentially, you're giving the taxpayer, right, control of where the money goes.
Control over the money. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other things too. I'm going to turn my camera off real quick here for a sec.
No problem. Oh,
one of the things that that I've heard the guys over at the Fake Entitled podcast talk about is the idea of like a free online or like a tuition-free online college or something too that would be like accredited.
Oh God, a social program! How dare they?
And no, I thought it was interesting how like Trump proposed the idea of like a free online college, and like I think it's interesting. But I've also done online classes.
Yeah. No,
and they kind of.
I like the idea as well. It wouldn't be so difficult to set up an almost automated. And it would be like the government school of governmenting, right? They're right about that. You could definitely create a curriculum that is online, that is relatively cheap or relatively next to free. Right.
Yeah.
And then you subsidize the cost with tax dollars, but you try and minimize that cost. That's the whole point. See, the current problem is bureaucracy, and that's exactly what they want to slash with the Doge thing. Is like, think about this, Sam. For those dollars to come from the federal government down to the school, they go through the Department of Education. The Department of Education sends them to the State Department of Education, right? The State Department of Education then doles it out based on their criteria to the schools. Usually, they don't get federal grants directly. And in between all of that is a army of paper pushers whose entire job is to fill out paperwork, and they're siphoning off that money, you see?
Yeah. That's I mean that pretty much comes down to a lot of programs, whether it be in education, national defense, healthcare, is a lot of it is paper pushers too.
The bureaucrats. And I don't think people give enough credit to the fact that Americans in large voted for Trump because they were sick of bureaucracy bullshit.
Yeah.
They know he's the guy that wants to take a sledgehammer to the bureaucracy. That's why they voted for him.
And
the bureaucracy is what these crying Democrats really are trying to protect, by the way.
Yep, 1000%.
Because that is their power center.
Yeah.
Is they're unelected, lifelong career bureaucrats who they are the ones in charge of the little I's and the little T's on every little fucking legal document, and they sneak their bullshit into it. And then the Congress is like, you got to vote on it to see what's in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and
Fuck the bureaucracy. Kurt Doolittle would refer to what I'm talking about as parasitism, Sam.
I've seen some of his lectures. Well, and that's one of the things that you mentioned. My friend Josh, who's kind of a socialist, he and I've talked about this. We could do his whole thing, and
We could feed a hell of a lot of people with the fucking money that we save on war. Put it that way.
Well, also, he and I have actually agreed with this. The thing about government healthcare right now is the big problem with it, and I've encountered this with trying to get my wheelchair, is just the amount of paperwork that.
Well, in every one of those forms, in every one of those things you're doing has like a different person whose job it is to fucking do that whole thing.
Not just that, but like a different code for like and I'm sure Mortheous can relate to this, but the fucking like foot plate on my wheelchair or on our wheelchair has like a completely different coding.
Yep.
And serial number than the seat.
Right. So replacement parts is a bit.
If you broke down the wheelchair, every single movable part and non-movable part has a different code to be replaced.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, they don't bundle as, hey, we need to get Sam, new wheelchair.
It's not bundled as one big thing. It's bundled as pieces and parts.
Yeah. Except it is one big thing. Right, but they needed a bureaucracy to siphon off all the money so that you can't get a wheelchair, so that they can have transgender surgeries for 5-year-olds. Well, we discussed this.
Yep.
That cost like.
And if you don't like that, you're a transphobic bigot, and I wonder why people voted for Trump.
And each one of those transgender surgeries cost like 10 wheelchairs.
Yeah. Well, we did the math, right? $50,000. For one of those surgeries is the average cost. The average cost of one of these wheelchairs, Sam?
The average cost is like $3,500.
$3,500 as opposed to $50,000.
Even my most expensive like Permobil power wheelchair, which I do have one, that's 40. That's like 40. That's 40 grand. So that is expensive. Sure. That is still $10,000 cheaper.
Yeah. So you could get both and still save money.
Yeah.
But they're not going to give it to you. But if you want the transgender surgery, Sam, I hear they're offering $50 grand.
No.
That should cover your hormone replacement therapy.
Nah, well, that deal might
bring a whole new meaning to when people call you Sammy.
That deal, I think that deal expires on January 20th. Please.
Oh, damn. No more trans surgery. I'm sure it doesn't. I'm sure there's a state that would do that.
Yeah.
Probably mine. My state is fucked because the mayor of Boston is like, no, we're not going to help with federal authority. You actually don't need to, bitch. Just stand out the way.
Yeah.
All these Democrats grandstand, and that's what they're going to do, by the way. When the federal agents come to take the immigrant, they're just going to stand out the way. What are they going to do? Order the cops to fire on them?
Well, apparently Gavin Newsom seems to like he want.
Well, then maybe he should secede.
The last I read, like this is how brilliant Gavin Newsom is. He wants to arm the National Guard, California's wing of the National Guard, against the military. What he either is too stupid to realize or has completely missed, I'm not sure which, is that like the National Guard, even though it's from California, is still like
is a federal branch of the federal military. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So you know,
Hence the national in National Guard.
So you know,
Gavin Newsom.
I'm sure that Gavin is you know, I'm sure he's coked out his.
He still got the shape up his nose, Sam, and also he added a crayon in the other one.
And since Gavin Newsom loves China so much, he can just move there.
No, secede and join China. That would make things easier. Fuck California. Oh, by the way, if he suggested secession or like kind of hinted at it, bro. Okay, then we just never lose an election again. Thanks. Yeah, do that. Secede, California. What are you, dumb?
Hi, California. Bye-bye.
Yeah, make it a communist utopia. And you know what? We can send all the commies there. California it is, Sam. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a feeling it'll look a lot like Escape from L.A.
Really, make it California.
Yeah, only this time it'll be literally Escape from LA. And
no, there's no escape, because if you try and come back into our territory, you know, you're gonna get shot on the wall. No commies allowed. You seceded.
That's true.
Imagine having Border Patrol picking up Californians trying to cross into like New Mexico. I'm like, oh, this is not fair. I just need to get out of there. There's no fucking yoga anymore. It's all just working the mines. Can you believe that? I have to work 18 hours a day just to afford my prep.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, it is.
And a bottle of water. What do you think a bottle of water in LA costs, Sam?
$8 last I heard.
Jesus.
That's my cousin said it costs like $8.
I think that's a high price for a pack of cigarettes, Sam. A bottle of fucking water. Jeez.
Well, it's designer water, Max. Whatever the hell designer water is, like,
yeah,
like
I'm sure that's good for you. Enjoy your designer water.
For $8,
comes out of a fucking hose, Sam. Just so you know.
Oh yeah. Well, no, for $8, like that water
from the same lake ours does.
For $8, that water better be holy water that like can cure Mort and I of our ailments, and like.
Bro, it was $8 for a bottle of water at Woodstock '99, and that's why we started breaking concession stands.
Yep.
I say we.
Yeah.
We.
Well, I mean,
I didn't light no fires, Sam, but you're damn sure I looted. Them motherfuckers were trying to charge us $20 for like a burrito.
Well, I mean,
in the '90s.
Well, I don't know if you've been to New York recently, but the last time I was there, it was like $12. It was like $12.
Would I go to New York? It's bad enough. Fuck, would I go to the heart of the beast? At least we have some decency here.
Oh, so you mean
Mort? Do you actually live in the same state? Do you go anywhere near New York City?
Fuck no.
Oh,
that's what I thought. Yeah, everybody in the Northeast knows New York City is a cesspool, Sam.
Oh, so Mort,
we all avoid it.
Oh,
New York City is the fucking toilet.
Yeah.
So Mort, you mean to tell me that beer doesn't cost $12 for a 6-pack where you're at?
Not up here, no.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
Well, 6-pack of what, Sam?
Budweiser.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't buy that shit.
Let me check.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy that shit, so I wouldn't know, Sam. But
me either,
I know a 6-pack of Sam Adams is like $6 or $7 here, and then like a 12-pack of Sam Adams again, which is a designer beer, is like $13 or $14 for 12.
Yeah.
Personally, yes. I would go for the local brewery, but I'm not going to dock myself.
Well, for me, Sam Adams is kind of a local brewery because it's Boston.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I get it. But
And we get all the
breweries that I'm
fancy
thinking
beers
about.
here too. Like you guys probably don't get like the Sam Adams sampler packs and stuff, but they're fucking awesome.
We get the sample packs here in Florida. So
Oh, probably so many people could move from. I know there's like New England style pizza places down there. There's New England style a lot of shit because so many people move from up here.
yeah,
Particularly south of Miami, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
We
sure.
get the fuck out of here. We go where it's warm.
DeSantis might be going to, once he gets booted out of the governor, he might
Whitfield
be
for governor. I'm calling it.
oh wait, yeah, I will be old enough to run by the time he
Whitfield 2026, baby. Whitfield Schmooley.
Oh boy.
Schmooley for lieutenant governor.
Shmuel will be Dick Cheney in this instance.
And Craig can be your chief of staff because he's in Florida too.
He'll be I know that.
Who better? Who better than Craig to run things? Let him take an axe to the bureaucracy.
Craig would actually be the best person I know to like deal with hurricane stuff.
I think he'd be like to deal with a lot of things in a unique way. Like the establishment on the right has given way. And quite frankly, Sam, what they're not recognizing on the right and the left is that this was the entrance into the age of millennial politics. That's what this was. Gen X really didn't ever have their day, and the boomers died off, and there's just more of us. We came out to vote in droves. Trump won the millennial vote, just to be clear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like the millennial vote went to Trump. Millennial men, obviously, more than women, but still, the millennial vote as a whole went to Trump. More millennials came out than ever before in any previous election. And by the way, that's crazy because millennials came out in droves to vote for Obama the first time. And still came out in droves this time. The last time it was driven by boomers. You know, you could make the argument, Sam, that those extra fucking 10 or 15 million votes that Biden got are dead boomers. That's a possibility that they were like, I'm not like, I know like people don't believe that they existed at all. And I don't either. But like, if you wanted to make the case of who they might have been, it could have been boomers who were just terrified of COVID. And then they died in the 4 years since then.
Yeah.
I don't think 10 million boomers have died in that many years, but we'll pretend, I guess.
Well, and if you believe this theory,
to answer your question there, Sam, for a 15 pack of 12-ounce cans, it's $15.19.
Okay, so a 6-pack isn't $10 or whatever.
No, not at all.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But in New York City, it is, right? I know a pack of cigarettes in New York City and in New Jersey, I think, is like 20.
Because the way New York City works is you've got the normal state taxes and you've got additional
New York City taxes, because you got to remember, like we talked about this with Andrew Nelson, New York City is the size of a small nation.
Yeah.
And the projects and the infrastructure to run that city day to day, yeah, they have to tax the shit out of you.
Yeah.
It's but the problem I think New York City is finding, and a lot more in New York even voted for Trump this time than in previous elections.
We trended red.
It's obvious, right? Is like the place is falling apart and crime is at an all-time high. Like they want to say it's down, and that's true nationally, but it's sky high in major cities, and it is because Democrat George Soros prosecutors, the ones usually backed by him, will let people out of jail just so they can go commit more crime, and then they go commit more crime. They recently there was the guy that he's stabbed like 6 people, and they let him out after 6 months. Overcrowding, they said.
Yeah.
The hospitals be overcrowding with those stab victims, yo.
Well, I mean, Northern California went considerably more red than Southern California, which
That's always true, though.
yeah.
That because the Northern California is where all the farmers are at, and all the more rural places.
Yeah.
Outside of San Fran, that's kind of an anomaly.
Yeah, although I heard recently that like even San Fran like got rid of some of their more radical
Yeah, but like the San Diego area famously is much more red.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not red, but like especially up north in the rural parts of California, it is very rural and farmer oriented and small town. So of course they tend to vote conservative.
Yeah, it's more.
That's been a long time problem between Californians, actually, because people have suggested 2 states, but you can't actually do that under the Constitution. You're not allowed to make a state out of a territory that used to belong to a state. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
So it's California. It is, you know.
Ugh, yeah.
People talk about that. Oh, we'll split it and it'll be the state of Jefferson or what. Like, that's not real. You can't do that. I believe it's Article 2.
North California, South California.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Right.
Yeah, you just can't. Like the Constitution, Article 2 says you cannot make a state out of a territory where another state used to exist. So basically, if you did that, that's directly against the Constitution. You can add new states in, right? But you can't split states up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's a little weird but
they were trying to prevent a civil war, which happened anyway.
Yeah, fair point. So,
and then obviously,
and who are those that are talking about War II now?
Well, that's the thing is like because the Union won, that was kind of the precedent, right? Is that the states don't have as many rights. And that's been the precedent we've been operating under ever since. That the federal government has supremacy and that you can't leave the Union. Like saying you're going to secede technically is an act of aggression under the current system that we have now since the Civil War.
Yeah. So,
but they're saying it in California. And you know what? I don't see a problem with that. See, that's how it could work, Sam, is if Southern California did secede, Northern California could say, we're just going to be California now. And we'll be the 50th state. And Southern California, they could do that. But they couldn't split them into 2 states as an equal part of the Union. Because the thing is, Sam, if you could, this is why. If you could do that, wouldn't the Democrats want to split so they could get more senators? Like I would say, why don't we split some of these big blue states, right?
Yeah.
Like Minnesota, let's split it into 5 states. That way we get 8 extra senators.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why it doesn't happen like that, just to be clear. I know people will talk about this, but they just don't know the Constitution very well.
Yeah, no, that all makes sense.
Right. And it's the same thing of why they want the thing is, here's another issue I agree with the left on. Oh my God. Puerto Rican statehood. If they want to be a state, they should be allowed to vote to be a state. But Max, that will give the Democrats 2 extra senators. I don't care. They deserve the right to be a state.
Like, I agree.
Puerto Rico, they can't vote in federal fucking elections. They can't get Social Security unless they move to the mainland. Like, they're American citizens, but they have less rights than you if they live on the island of Puerto Rico, and I just don't think that's right.
Yeah.
You know? But some people want to keep it that way, Sam, because if they're a state, then they get the handouts get less and the taxes get more. So there is a contingent of Puerto Ricans that do not want to become a state. And so I think the only fair way to actually decide that is to have a referendum in Puerto Rico and have them vote on it. And then we could, have a referendum, I guess, in the country. But like, the thing is, do you think it's fair that because grandma's from Puerto Rico, she has to go retire to Miami? Now, again, for people that are unaware, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. So these are United States citizens. Okay. We're not talking about illegal immigrants of any kind. They're not even immigrants. They're U.S. citizens.
Yep.
But they have to move to the mainland to receive their Social Security benefits that they worked and paid into their whole life. They cannot retire in the place that they've lived their whole life. And doesn't that suck, Sam?
That sucks, particularly if you're like in your 70s or something and can't move around.
There's a lot of things that them not being a state, they're not allowed to decide on their own.
Yeah.
And I think that sucks. And so whether that gives the Democrats 2 more senators, I don't know, because again, we're talking they're Hispanic. So we can't just say they're just definitely going to be fucking Democrats. That doesn't hold water. But what does hold water to me is that they have been part of the union a very long time, and I think they deserve statehood if that's what they choose, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh no, Max, but you're not playing the political game. Well, guess what? I'm not a partisan.
Fuck the political game.
Simple as that. I'm not a partisan. And so to me, I see a situation like what's going, and I've talked to Puerto Ricans about this, Sam, so I know what I'm talking about. The grandma story is true. That's a true story.
Yeah.
I personally know people that come to the mainland just so that they can get health care. There is health care in Puerto Rico, right? But they get better health care in literally any state that they fucking show up in. Why? Because there's a state government that runs the healthcare system, but there's not in Puerto Rico.
Well, also like, isn't Guam a territory too?
True, but there's a lot less people on Guam, and they're not calling for citizenship like that. They have citizenship. I'm sorry, they're not calling for statehood like that.
Right. No, I just thought of that because of that Hank Johnson guy who said that he was afraid that Guam would tip over if we had too many military personnel on it. Yes, that's an actual clip, folks. Go check that.
But I think the Puerto Rico issue, Sam, was a factor in this election entirely, and it was completely missed by both sides, to be honest with you, because I get that what Tony was trying to do there was make jokes about the corruption in Puerto Rico, but all he did is fucking kind of piss them off in a lot of cases. Like, yeah, it does suck that our government is fucked up, and it's because it's Sam, the reason that it's so bad is because it's the federal government only.
Yeah.
They have a local government for the cities, but they don't have what we have, which is a state government. So a lot of the shit is up to either the cities to figure out or the federal government has to do it, and it sucks. You know what I mean? And there is a government of Puerto Rico as a whole, but they're not allowed to make a lot of the same rules that a state is because they're not a fucking state.
That actually does seem like on its face like it would suck. Just
it has benefits. They get more assistance in than they're paying taxes for, and that's again why some of them would prefer to keep it the way it is.
Sure.
But yeah, like imagine you work and live your whole life and you can buy your family home only to know that if you want to actually retire, you can't live there anymore. You have to move to basically not another country, but a place like far away that you've never been to.
I mean, as a conservative, it would kind of make sense that you would actually want Puerto Rico to be a state, just because, if you're going to get handouts, you should pay taxes on them.
Yeah.
So
what if they get a Democrat senator out the deal or two?
Well,
whatever. Like honestly, like in the long term, that's not as big a problem.
Yeah. Well, there's no guarantee of that for sure. So
right. So that's the other thing. I think that's like doomerism, right? It's like, oh well, it's guaranteed to go blue. Well, again, look at the Hispanic vote in this election. That seems like a kind of like outdated take, I guess.
Well, I think one thing that I've noticed with both you and I is, right, we're not completely, at least for me in more recent years, you and I are not completely entrenched in like politics 24/7, whereas like a lot of my friends who are part of the college Republicans, they're great people, don't get me wrong, but they talk in conservative echo chambers all day long, and their entire family is also conservative. Whereas
I used to know a lot of people that would do something where they would essentially doom scroll each other. They'd have particularly this was prevalent in the Facebook days where you'd have Facebook.
Yeah.
Where they would just post all the most horrific, blackpilling, depressing, bad news stories. And when they were doing this, Sam, was when Trump was winning the fucking 2016 election. But they're so entrenched in this horrible story of, oh, Muslim gangs raped these women and yeah, bad things are happening all over the world. But what I like to remind people is like, it doesn't have to be that way in your everyday life all the time. You can turn that shit off and go for a walk. You can talk to people in your real life. You can turn your phone off and just kind of observe the world around you. Maybe that's fucking corny. I don't know.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I know a lot of people who are tweeting at like how, and I don't even know if this is really true, but I saw some weird post that was like Biden authorized the use of nukes or something. So long story short, like there are all these doom scrollers who think that nuclear wars are going to happen between now and Inauguration Day. And my whole thing is, nothing in the military moves that quickly.
Or the government for that matter.
Yeah, or the government. Right. So I don't think nuclear war is going to happen in the next 6
No,
months.
I'll tell you what I think is Putin is Biden authorized those missiles for whatever fucking reason. That's retarded. One, first and foremost. Two, because I'm anti-war, you see, so I think it's retarded to send them the missiles in the first place.
Yeah.
Let alone say they can use them and help them fucking shoot them off. That's fucking retarded. Two, if Russia knows that there's going to be a new president, and Vlad knows he can kind of talk to Trump. Let's be real. He knows that he might not be in the best bargaining position, but he is in a position. Right? And they could divvy up territory or whatever, come to some kind of fucking amicability. But he can't go into that as anything but a strong man, Sam. You understand how Russians are, right?
Right.
Especially him. Did you ever see he bullied the German chancellor with his dog because she's afraid of dogs?
I did see that. That was actually in a weird way hilarious.
It was, but that's how he does politics, Sam.
Yeah.
He's a thug. And take it from a street thug. That's what I am. That's what I come from, right? I'm telling you, he is fucking powering up his chest and saying, yeah, motherfucker, I'm ready for the smoke. You want the smoke? You want some? And when Trump comes on, he's going to be like, nah, actually, we just want to fucking chill out. And he's going to be like, cool. Yeah, I was ready to chill out anyway, dog. It's fine. Yeah. No, I wasn't scared, though. You thought I was scared. Nah. I was telling you, I was going to smoke your ass.
Well, and see that. So when people like Bill Maher say that, Trump is kind of crazy, my response to that is good. I kind of want someone who's a little unpredictable and might be a little crazy to be on the world stage. Just to keep
a lot of people voted for him only for that reason because they see him as the chaos candidate.
Yeah,
that's true. All 3 times he ran, by the way.
A lot of
those people giving a middle finger to the system. That's what that vote was for them specifically. Not all Trump voters, but a segment of them.
Yeah, and you know what?
That was me in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That's not necessarily an invalid, position either.
That doesn't mean they love him, though. That's what you have to remember. And guess what? It seems like he did, because he came back this time and he won even more of those people over. Wow, what a shock! It's almost like he learned some lessons. He's even less mean in this election cycle. Not less savage. He still got in some fucking lumps, especially at that one the one comedy press conference dinner. His fucking little stand-up routine where he roasted everybody was great. But in general, he was much more professional with his communications. outside of like interviews and things, like his statements he put out and
Oh
whatnot.
yeah, totally. Well, the one thing I will say too is like, I do find it hilarious. I don't know if it's true, but I kind of want to believe that maybe Biden actually voted for Trump himself, and the reason why is just because I don't know if you've seen the photos, Max, but man, when
Yeah, he's
Trump-
very happy. I'll tell you what I think, Sam. I don't think he voted for Trump. I think he's happy Trump won because it's a fuck you to Kamala.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who do I think Joe Biden voted for? The answer is obvious,
Biden.
Sam. He voted for Joe Biden.
I mean, he's got.
Now, wait, if anybody ever asks him, this is why I know this is the case, Sam. If anybody ever asks him, he'll say, "No, I didn't vote for Donald Trump," because he didn't. He voted for Joe Biden. He wrote his own name in. Want to bet?
Yeah, totally.
I would if I was him.
Man, though, like
He
I
won the
don't-
primary, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Man, though, was he happy? I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen him smile that wide. Like
That final one where he's walking away and he turns back to the camera, just like, "Fuck Kamala Harris."
someone,
Kamala Harris.
someone actually did like an edit on YouTube where it was Biden walking away, set to like the Jason Bourne outro music, and that was one time where I was like, man, this actually makes Biden seem kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
But don't forget though, he's Joe Biden, and fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck him. No, it's not. Yeah, like think about it for 1 second, Sam. Afghanistan, Sam.
Fuck
Oh.
Joe Biden.
Oh, 1994 crime bill. Fuck Joe Biden.
Yeah,
Yep.
but like
So,
Afghanistan, Sam.
yeah. Fuck Joe Biden.
The economy, but like, man, just yeah. I get it. People want to give him a pass now. He's riding off in the sunset. He gets a fuck you to the Dems. I get all that,
Nah, fuck Joe Biden.
but fuck Joe Biden.
Fuck Obama too. Are we?
Yeah,
are-
Especially fuck Obama. You
Like,
might
I-
like it though, Sam.
And
Well,
it's fucking
I hear he likes it that way. You know,
well, I have heard like a lot of. I have heard like a lot.
offer
Of,
him a little bit of cocaine, he'll suck your dick, is what I heard.
well, from what I've heard, he might suck Michelle's dick, or Michael's dick, whatever.
It was a dick on the Ellen
You
show.
remember that one guy that gave the interview that he used to smoke crack with Obama and they blow each other? You forget about that?
Yeah, no, that was the one Tucker Carlson interview where I was kind of like, I
was like, this is all objective fact, Sam. Obviously.
yeah, well, I was like,
Believe all victims, Sam.
yeah,
Especially when
well,
you're accusing Obama. Bah! Yes.
Yeah,
I believe Obama has sucked a dick in his day. Yes.
you know what? I actually
We
believe
went to
that-
the Diddy parties, Sam.
You know what? I actually believe that more than I believe that Obama.
It's not a question. He went to Diddy parties. This is objectively a fact that
No,
Obama
no.
advertised for and went to and has pictures of him taken at Diddy parties for sure.
He not only that he advertised and went to parties with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh yeah.
Everyone loved.
Well, you know, funny thing about the rich and powerful, Sam, they really enjoy like rape.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like they hate consent very much and they enjoy rape.
It's all about power. Go figure.
Yeah. It's because they're horrible fucking demons and we should send them back to hell. But barring that, we could at least send them to jail, you know, for their crimes against humanity.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start with Diddy, but
There.
there's more than Diddy. Let's be honest. Let's be honest that all these motherfuckers that endorsed Kamala Harris just coincidentally are on the list of the Diddy Party people. And it's not like the Epstein list, which they kept private from us or whatever. It's the Diddy list isn't even a list like that because that was his black book. You see, the Diddy list is the people who said, yeah, I love me some Diddy parties on the VMAs on MTV Live in front of everybody. Okay, we know who went to the Diddy parties. We know Eminem went to the Diddy parties. We know Oprah went to the Diddy parties. This isn't a fucking question. And if you ask them, they will say yes. Because otherwise they'd be lying under oath. Well, I guess if you ask them, they're not under oath. But if you put them under oath, yeah.
You know who didn't go to the Diddy parties though was Trump, and neither did Dr. Phil.
You didn't think the white parties were all about painting everybody white, if you know what I mean, Sam? Did he wanted to paint everybody white, you see, with his jizz, is what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah. I mean, why else would? I love how you just look off to the side to make sure that you're not gonna get like assaulted.
Semen is what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there are lots of semen in Florida. So.
Oh no, not that kind of semen. Jism. Skeet. You know.
Come.
I'm trying to make sure that you don't get assaulted. So.
To the window. To the wall. To the sweat drops down my balls. Okay. Oh, these semen drop. Skeet, motherfucker. Skeet, goddamn. What did you say?
Enough.
No, you said, okay.
Oh my fucking God.
What?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Max.
Back to you, Sam.
Maxine is butchering her husband, ladies and gentlemen. I have something fun to show you.
Let's go. Oh, damn! I did it again. Now I got Little John disease.
Maxine is preparing to stuff her husband in the back of a trunk. Ladies and gentlemen, got this fine book to show you. Blood Ties is officially out in hardcover.
Oh, nice.
From Amazon. This is the official paperback. If you like mafia themed short stories, there are 4 of them in here. One of which, Blood Ties, is dedicated to Jennifer Lynn Sherm, subject of the Minds of Madness podcast. So I sold the short story as an ebook online, but if you want to read it in print format, this is the way to do it. So there is a paperback edition as well. So you can.
Well, I like the hardcovers, Sam. You know, I do, because like sometimes I like to sit on the floor. Like we got hardwood floors. I feel it's comforting to have some nice support. And so when I get the hardcover book, I expect that I'm going to take it to the floor.
Skeet.
Okay.
I did not see that guy. Bravo. I like the hardcover just because, Well,
yeah, you can take them to the window. You can take them to the wall.
Take them to the floor.
I mean, you can take them anywhere. Maxine can use this to hit you on the head.
No, that's a mark against it, Sam.
And it would probably
purchase this weapon, you say, to be used against me. I don't know about that. That's a great sale. Hey, if anybody wants a good weapon to use against Max, order Sam's new book in hardcover.
Blood ties. Well, hey, I mean, you two
Just make
basically
sure
are.
you wipe off the blood.
Yeah. So,
That's right. Well, no, you want to give it that authentic blood tie smear, you see,
yeah.
with the blood of an idiot. It's got to be bathed in the blood of an idiot, Sam. It's a ritual.
Well,
We've triggered Dip
yeah.
in the chat.
God damn.
So, ordered this today, and it'll make for a great Christmas present. But no, in all seriousness, order this. I think you'll enjoy the 4 short stories, especially Blood Ties, and looking forward to getting Andrew Sherm on the podcast, aka Satanic, on next year.
Check out his song "Who Killed Jennifer" on Spotify. It's about his mom,
which I
Great
may or may not have included some lyrics to and references to that in the book. You'll just have to
That's
read.
cool.
You'll just have to read and find out. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what else we got going on, Sam? You're going to be a part of my White Christmas for Autism this year, right?
Yes, I actually wanted to promote that as well. You know more about that than I do, but
well, we're gonna try and do it in December before Christmas, because people have plans on Christmas week, so you try to do it a little before Christmas. And what we're gonna do is talk about Christmassy stuff, wholesome shit. Actually, see, there's a lot of toxicity after this election and before it, Sam. And I was trying to go for something more in the vein of like an old Bob Hope Christmas special. So people are going to talk about wholesome Christmassy shit. Or even, hey, if a Jewish person wants to come talk about Hanukkah, if Craig wants to come, any of that shit. And talk about family and tradition. And while doing so, we want to raise money for a good cause, which is the Autism Society of America, which does great work in researching and finding new ways to help autistic children.
Have you when you've done it in the past, have you ever had anyone from the organization on to
No, we've always done it unofficially just to give the money to them. I wanted people to donate directly, right? We're not going to do like send us a super chat because I want it to go to them. But we have had people give us receipts. Some people showed me receipts anyway, just to show that they did donate quite a bit. Several thousand over the 6 years that we ran it for. Unfortunately, one of the main co-hosts that we had is kind of parted ways with us a couple years ago, and I hadn't been feeling it without him. But this year I do feel very Christmassy, Sam.
Well, look, there's a lot to be thankful for this holiday season, a lot to be thankful for. So I'd be willing to step in and
I'm hyped for Thanksgiving already, Sam. You got me. I love me some turkey.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm hyped up for pumpkin pie. So
for me, it's all about that bird and those mashed potatoes, which I always make from scratch.
Perfect.
I don't like them box mashed potato bullshit. Even in the best of days, I don't eat that shit.
Yeah.
You got to get some whole potatoes and mash them bitches.
Well,
my priority blend of herbs and spices, obviously, and with a little milk and a little butter.
Since Thanksgiving is next week, I believe.
Yes, sir. Next Thursday.
Are we going to have a show next week, or are you?
I would love to talk about Thanksgiving again. That's my favorite, and I get to bust that out once a year. The Pilgrims and the Indians. Massachusetts history and rights and political bullshit and people killing each other. It's fucking interesting.
Well, we did that last year. That was actually one of our first shows on Rumble, and it was one of our highest rated ones, actually. So
yeah.
I too plan on being here.
So yeah, let's do it.
We could talk about Thanksgiving for us, and it'll be the eve of Thanksgiving. As long as you guys aren't busy, if you don't have any travel plans.
I'm not.
As I said, I cook the dinner, so it's here. I think my mother-in-law might even be able to join us. She just recently had surgery, so it'd be nice. She's feeling a lot better, in case someone was going to ask, of course. But,
That's great.
a low-key thing with the family. My boy, he loves him the leg. He likes turkey leg. And lots of mashed potatoes because he's Irish as fuck.
Well, of course. So,
and gravy, and pie.
Yeah,
he just likes Thanksgiving, basically.
Yeah, well, he's
and Jesus. He loves
food.
He'll tell you he loves Jesus.
Yeah, well, he's
growing boy in food.
Yeah, well, he's a good Irish American boy.
Well, and we've been running home from school every day, so he's earned it. A good big Thanksgiving. So have I, man. You know what, Sam? I went 12 miles today.
Wow.
Yeah, just today.
Well, like I said, Max, there's a lot to be thankful for. I mean, I've had
friends, good health,
good friends, good health, really good book sales. I mean, not just that.
Oh yeah, you've been crushing it.
Not just that, but like great episodes. The fact that my home is still standing, and also
so many people lost so much. Yeah, that's something to definitely be thankful for.
And also, again, I know it's political, but like I legitimately am thankful that Trump is back in office. Like,
and many other people are too, Sam.
Yeah. That is
a lot of Thanksgivings are going to be really upbeat this year. A lot of them are going to be really downbeat, and then there's going to be mixed ones where people are going to get drunk and fight. I hope to you and yours, all of you who watch this show, that your Thanksgiving is happy and upbeat. And even if you've learned anything today, Sam, I think to maybe give the moral is, sure, maybe have some fun with your relatives, but maybe learn to talk.
Yep, and meet people where they're at. I mean, that's kind of the mantra of this show.
Yeah, not where you want them to be, and that's important because sometimes you're especially, oh man, when it's a close relative, like kind of you've talked about with you and your dad, right? Where it's like you really just wish he would be a little, maybe even just a little bit less, right, than he is, but he's not,
Yeah, and sometimes you just gotta
dad.
Yeah. Sometimes, with that, like you just gotta, learn to put your
Unless you're my parents, in which case I don't ever want to see them on a Thanksgiving again, because Thanksgiving back then was a drunken beating over mashed potatoes or something.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is for all the relatives I have, who might be disagreeable, I am thankful for, the family and friends I have who are, also.
I have spent a Thanksgiving homeless and alone, Sam. So for me, I'm always thankful.
Yeah. No, I'm sure.
Like completely alone on Thanksgiving, no nothing. And everybody left. Everybody else had plans, and I was staying somewhere, but everybody there went off to a dinner, and I was the only person not invited.
Oof.
Sleeping on a couch,
That sucks, and
so anything is above that.
Yeah.
And actually, I love Thanksgiving now because I've had this tradition for longer than my son has been alive by quite a bit, actually. Come a long way.
Yeah, well, Thanksgiving and Christmas are my two favorite holidays for that, reason.
I'm partial to Halloween and Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving is the common one. A lot of people like Christmas. I get it. Christmas can be a bit much for me sometimes, but you know what? I feel it this year. I do. I'll probably even Santa myself up for the stream. We'll have fun. We'll talk about Christmas shit. Next week, we'll talk about Thanksgiving history, and I'll nerd out and bore everybody to tears.
And I promise this year, since I upset so many people last year and didn't wear a Santa hat until the very end. I will wear a Santa hat in December on stream, and Max and Mort can make fun of me for wearing that goofy Santa hat on my head. So,
Yeah, Joe, our friend from Bits and Bones, by the way, they just had the kind of the real relaunch. Last week I helped fill in, but they just did a great episode the other day. But Joe says, that's a lonely turkey day. I've done that once. Yeah, respect. Exactly. There's a level of humility that comes with going through such an experience, you know?
Well, look, I mean, I've had crappy Christmases before too. One of the Christmases as a kid was when my parents got divorced, so that was crappy. And then when I was 20, my uncle Gary, who people have heard me talk on the show often, he died like 2 weeks before Christmas. So
yeah, my granddad I've talked about on the show before died right before Christmas as well.
So that sucked.
But more than that, you know what else is why maybe Christmas isn't my favorite is because as a kid we were poor. One, because drug addict, and two, so you don't get as much cool shit as the other kids. But then two, more importantly, my specifically my mother and her older sister would get into a traditional Christmas fist fight drunkenly without fail. That was just part of the deal of the family party, was that my mom and her sister were going to have a fist fight like fucking children over something stupid.
I actually wanted to mention something about,
and then we'd get home and get beat up because my mom lost the fight,
Oof. That sucks.
Yeah. So Christmas was a sore subject. See, Halloween was better for me because you go out of the house to strangers, and strangers were less dangerous.
Yeah.
Strangers give you candy.
Well,
candy. They have the best candy. Yeah, this is an objective fact, Sam. Strangers have the best candy. Period.
Yeah.
End of story. Nobody else is even close.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well then, so I mean, I don't know if you've ever really considered this, but like
just one time at the never mind.
You must be able to relate to the vice president in that sense. I mean, you both came from struggling homes.
Yeah, no, the stuff he was saying about that was actually really relatable. It's a millennial thing. Like, this is what boomers will glorify child abuse, actually, right? Like, if you talk to them about it, they'll be like, "Oh, spare the rod, spoil the child," or whatever. But like, what we're talking about, Sam, in a lot of these cases, is actual like abuse of kids. Like people, like my mom. I have scars. I went to the ER with like my skull cracked open. I got one over one of my eyes from when she put a cigarette out, right? Like this wasn't like a spanking, you know what I mean? But the boomers will defend it till the death. And I just think like a lot of us who grew up in that style see things very, very differently. We're trying to break the cycle. And he literally said that.
Yeah.
So you've heard me say that before too, right? Like we raised my son completely peacefully. I'm proud of that. There's no like spanking. Why would we even need to? He doesn't do anything that would even qualify for that to me. And I'm not a fucking alcoholic, angry person, so I don't beat the shit out of him like my mom did to me, because that doesn't make any sense anyway. How does that make you feel better? I just never understood the mindset, to be honest with you. And I attributed it to severe mental illness. I still do. And drug abuse, right?
Yeah.
I don't have those problems, so there's none of that going on. And this is exactly what he was kind of getting at, right? Is like to break the cycle. You have to break the cycle. If you're like me, you can't.
Yeah.
And like nobody else is gonna break it for you. And especially a lot of us in the millennial age group, and he's an older millennial like I am. Grew up in an era where that kind of abuse was not only known to the community and prevalent, but like rather than, I'm not going to say that they would endorse it or take part in it, but they would look the other way.
Yeah.
Right. They know my mom is beating the shit. They can hear it. They know we go into the ER with fucking actual injuries and spiral fracture. You know how you get a spiral fracture, Sam?
Yeah.
Somebody twists your arm.
Oof.
That's it. That's the only way to get it. The only way to have a child with a spiral fracture is that somebody took their arm and twisted it back. Right? It's a very common child abuse injury. Nowadays, they're mandatorily supposed to report that. Well, they didn't. You know what I mean? And the cops knew what was going on. The cops partied with my mom. She worked at the hospital. That's why she got away with this shit. And people would look the other way because they're like, well, it's not my kids. But when you're that kid, it feels like the whole world's against you, you know?
I would imagine.
It was tough to get past that. I think that's where breaking the cycle is, actually, is that if you don't get past that, hate the world because they in your mind, they are helping what's happening, right? The teacher that you tell and then nothing happens, you feel like they're part of a conspiracy that allows this to happen to you at a certain point, right? And it's actually not a paranoid feeling. It's true. It's just not, and it's not as overt as you might think it is when you're a little kid, right? They just all don't want to get involved in other parents' business or whatever. That was the mentality in the 80s and 90s for a lot of fucking places, especially if you're poor, right? Working class. And so kids were getting the shit kicked out of them in horrific ways because also prevalent in that generation was a lot of drug abuse and alcoholism, okay? Particularly with among Vietnam vets, right?
Yeah.
The kids of the 80s and 90s, a lot of them had Vietnam vet dads that were fucking PTSD, alcoholic, and abusive. You know, that's pretty common. My case of having a psycho mom is actually pretty uncommon, to be fair. Either way, the child abuse going on, a lot of people just, they look the other fucking way. They look the other fucking way. And then it's like the whole world fucking wants this to happen to you. And you ask yourself why, and you blame yourself, or you resent the whole world. But what did it for me is to realize once I broke out of that world, Sam, in casting these people out of my life because all they do is harm me, was that the world isn't as cruel as I thought it was. But a lot of times it's very apathetic to you.
Yeah, well that's something that even in my own life I've kind of realized, you know, too, is that the word might not be cruel, but it can be very apathetic. Yeah. So,
and that's when you start to think about how small you can really be, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're not overtly mean or nasty. They don't give a fuck.
Right. You on your own, bro, especially as a man.
Oh yeah.
Ain't nobody coming to save you.
Well, yeah. Well, and not just that, but I mean, I don't know if this necessarily happened for either you or Mortheous, but like I know when I was in high school, that was kind of the beginning of the all men are toxic, and if you're a teenage boy, you're just inherently toxic. And
I escaped that just barely, right? It wasn't like that. It was like boys will be boys was very common back then. But that also led to some problems where, like, you know, the level of bullying that leads to like a Columbine.
Yeah.
Which that they were very aware of that situation well ahead of time at the school administration. And the accusations of rape, by the way, that a lot of people, like we've discussed on the show, a lot of people don't understand this, that potentially or allegedly that some of the victims of the Columbine massacre were potentially perpetrators of the rape of the shooters.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not.
Either way, we're talking about that kind of bullying wasn't, you know, non-existent, and bullying became a serious problem in the 90s, especially. And so they used the bullying thing. This is why I think it's important to bring this full circle after Columbine to bring in that stuff. So I saw the very beginning of it because, as you might remember, Sam, I've pointed this out. Columbine was my freshman year of high school.
Right.
So I saw some of that come in, but then 9/11 kind of overshadowed all of it. But they brought it back a couple of years later, especially in the school systems, with this anti-bullying stuff. You know, there was not any of that when I was growing up to that degree, like it was pushed upon your generation, right?
Right, yeah.
But the bullying was a result of the schools, being very lax about bullying. It wasn't a result of the kids. They still act like it's the kids.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like, yeah, it probably wasn't good that like that that Harris and Cleveland were being bullied. But what I'm saying is the schools, and this is typical of boomers too, they take one extreme and then
or the other. Yeah. So in Columbine, they did
other.
nothing, and now they arrest you for the stupid little thing. For example, I know for a fact a kid in Massachusetts, somewhat nearby, because I read about it recently, made a list of people he didn't like, and they arrested him, saying it was a hit list. It was a list of people that bullied him. So sometimes now the overreaction towards like, anti-bullying, and we got to worry about the shooters, ends up the system itself bullies a motherfucker.
I almost got expelled from my middle school, or I guess junior high, depending on what you call it, because I had a butter knife in my backpack. I didn't know that was in there, and have I told this story to you on air? I know I've told Apex.
I actually don't think so, but that's amazing because all I can picture is how much damage did they think Sam with the butter knife was going to do?
Well, okay, so that was the
Let's say, hold on, Sam. I just want to drink this in for a second. Let's say you did go on a murderous psychopathic rampage. Okay, you're a little kid at this time too.
Yeah,
How much damage could little Sammy with a butter knife do?
In a wheelchair.
Well, I mean, that's a given, right? In a wheelchair.
I mean, I might be able to poke someone in the shins.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Logistically, you might get to stab one person, but that would be it. But it's a butter knife. In
the shins too, right? Because
low, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what was? I just wanted to understand the absurdity of the play in front of us.
Yeah.
What was the school's take? Did you get in trouble?
So no. So literally what happened was
Psycho Sam with this butter knife.
So I don't even know how the butter knife got in there.
Likely story from a psycho.
Sure. No, my one of my
Sammy was sleep wheeling the night before, went into the kitchen, grabbed the butter knife, put it in a bag, and then went back to bed.
Show us the basement tape, Sam. What were you really gonna do?
Well, the basement tapes at that time would have been basically like the podcast and what I'm doing now.
See, a political radical already.
Geez. Yeah, well, basically, so I didn't even know I had the butter knife, and one of my teacher's assistants unpacked my backpack, and they just found it, and I was like, I have no idea.
They were like, oh my God, look at this wheelchair bound child. He is clearly a terrorist.
No, I just
can't get over it, Sam.
Yeah. I had to go to the dean's office, and the dean was actually like
Sammy bin Laden over here.
No, what's funny is
Samuel bin Laden bin Muhammad.
So the dean was actually friends with my mom because they were both on they were both part of the Republican precinct.
We will use the plastic fork. We will gouge out the eye of the infidel.
So they didn't know what to do because the school district was like, well, if you bring a weapon, you're supposed to get expelled.
But it's not a weapon, it's a utensil.
Yeah, but again, Max, after Columbine, metal utensils.
They let us have plastic knives. That's what I'm saying is I didn't. So I saw some of it. I've talked about this before. Like I got suspended many times for not taking off my jacket. Things like that. I definitely experienced some of what you're talking, the toxic males thing, but it wasn't yet directed at all men. It was directed at weirdos like me. Right? Who maybe were like a little on the goth side or fucking didn't quite fit in. Well, because the Columbine kids, that describes them, right? Therefore, all of us got painted with that brush. I'm not kidding. I got called psycho after the Columbine. Like I had something to do with it. I never wore a trench coat in my life, Sam.
What?
Or a duster. That shit's gay. I wore a leather jacket like you would wear if you rode a motorcycle. Because guess what? Ding dong, I rode a fucking motorcycle.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I wear a biker jacket, Sam? I don't know.
You know what?
It's because I'm a fucking trench coat wearing fucking, like, come on.
You know what? I actually got in trouble for wearing a leather jacket too, and I never understood why, but that's probably why.
Because of people like me who wouldn't take it off. It went around among, I'm not even kidding, it went around like the safety conferences and shit that these passive aggressive cat lady teachers have, and they started talking about, the kids who wear the leather coats too especially will be defiant about this, so we have to ban leather coat. They banned leather coats in almost every school in America, Sam.
Yeah, I remember that. So I really fucked with them though.
But it was completely organic and not from the top down, by the way. It was completely, every school just made this decision on their own.
So I really messed with them.
Just like banning Trump when that happened.
So I really messed with them when it came to the leather jacket because mine was insulated. Mine was insulated, and so my whole thing was like, look, my leather jacket is insulated, and I'm a skinny guy, and it's wintertime in Denver. Do you really want the crippled kid to freeze? Well,
yes,
no.
Yes, they do.
So
they said I couldn't wear colors. I was like, what do you mean? They meant my ICP patch was like apparently my biker gang colors. I'm like, bro, like I got a Metallica one too. Is that a gang?
One of my teachers thought that my Boy Scout colors were like gang colors initially, and then one of the
here's the thing, Sam, is like I've grew up around biker gangs and shit, and they're fucking fine by me. I don't have a problem with none of them. Like mass outlaws and shit, they're fucking cool. But I was just never a part of any of the biker gangs, right? Like I rode my motorcycle to school because it was practical because we had it in the barn. And so I fixed it up to ride to school. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm going to join a biker gang. I was like fucking 16.
Right.
But they're like, he's got colors on. I'm like, what do you mean? The anthrax patch? Your school made you take off your purple bandana. What did they think? You were in Judgment Day?
Oh, fucking no. I just thought it was cool the way I had it on.
I just think it's funny that now in 2024 there's a gang that's color is purple. So they were right about you. No, there's other gangs that do have purple colors. I don't know. I used to rock bandanas to school with like designs on them and shit, and they'd be like, "You can't wear that. That's gang paraphernalia." I'm like, bro, it's literally like, I don't know, like an Iron Maiden album cover. What gang is that? The Iron Maiden gang? It's crazy. I've been called a gang member my whole life, and it's and look, I've associated with many gang members.
Well, listen, Max.
I meet people where they're at, Sam, and sometimes that means they're a gang member, and sometimes that means they commit criminal activity. But I treat people based on how they treat me. You see?
Well, listen, Max. If you were part of the if you were part of the Metallica gang in high school, then I was part of the Van Halen.
Well, I was in multiple gangs. I had Van Halen. You bet your ass. I had a Van Halen patch and all that shit. I was a leather jacket guy, and I had like a taste in 80s metal and ICP. Yes, it was a little eccentric. Whatever. But like, they were like, it's a gang. He's a biker gang at school. Oh my God. Meanwhile, I'm riding. Dude, if a biker gang and you tried to join them, riding a beat up 1983 shitty fucking Honda, they beat you up.
Yeah.
Them dudes ride chopper. Like, it was a chopper. Don't get me. It's not a rice burner, You know what I'm saying? It's like a Harley style Honda, but like it's literally by the time I'm driving it, it's almost 20 fucking years old and they're barely hanging on. Yeah, I'm gonna bring that and be like, yeah, Hell's Angels, let's go. And they're gonna be like, get out of here, nerd.
Well, no, you don't understand, Max. Motorcycles are scary.
Shout out to the Hells Angels, though. That's not true. Hells Angels have always been very nice to me, as well as the fucking mass outlaws. Whatever you want to say about gangs.
Really quick there, Sammy. I got a biker story. Anytime that I'm at an outdoor concert, I get up right up front against the stage. And the last concert I was at, big giant burly biker dude. He's like, "Hey, dude, you want to go up?" And he fucking locked down my chair, and him and his buddies lifted me up, and I went crowd surfing on top of a bunch of biker dudes.
Yeah.
Biker dudes can be the realest motherfuckers in the world. That's what I'm saying.
I love me some biker dudes.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah. But,
and the biker for Christ type dudes too are usually pretty cool.
Yeah. Maxine is gonna be irritated here in a sec because one of the goth girls that I went to high school with, a teacher accused her of escorting simply because she was a goth girl. I don't know.
To be fair, she might have used too much makeup.
Not every goth girl is a fucking dominatrix, all right? Goddamn.
Well,
why not?
No, don't listen. Every goth girl is a dominatrix, guys.
Shut the fuck up.
Well,
depending on how good you are at talking.
Well, listen.
If you're not, why not, Maxine?
Well, listen. For once,
She says while she beats me on air.
Well,
Just fucking call me a dominatrix.
I didn't say that. I just said that you're literally holding a book ready to throw at me.
Yeah, so
doesn't disprove it. Especially knowing how invulnerable to pain I am.
So, is that it? Is
the
that...
emotional kind? I'm sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
I mean, are we gonna visit? Are we gonna witness a murder? That's always my.
No, it's okay.
That's always my question. Yeah. So anyway,
I'll be okay, Sam.
Looking back, this super perverted teacher that I had accused this. Listen, goth girls can be nice too. Just so long as you don't.
When you don't piss them off.
Most of the time.
Oh, you're not an asshole? Oh, damn. Well, I'm fucking screwed, guys.
They will try to bite you though. Oh wait, no, that's vampires. My bad.
Oh. Isn't it both?
I hate.
Oh yeah, no, this is a blunt. Like I saw in chat. Is that a blunt or just a cigar? It's a blunt.
I hate all of you right now.
That's okay. I love you.
But we like goth girls there, Maxine.
And including like I can understand me and I can understand Mac, but what up Mortheous? He's
well, if the meme is that you're always beating me, what did you think was gonna happen? She's typing vigorously and ignoring me, guys. I'm sorry.
What's that about? What's that question, Sammy? Yes, I like goth girls.
I would have never guessed, Mort. I would have figured you liked blonde cheerleaders who are.
I totally want the blonde cheerleader preppy type. Totally.
Excuse me.
I mean.
Coughing too hard, dude.
Don't die, Max.
So the funny thing is like Max is either going to die from from smoke inhalation or from his wife killing him. Which one will it be this week?
A little bit of both.
Now he's like doing sign language. Okay, now, wow, this is like entertaining. Trying to decipher, what he's pinned by. Something out coming to Jesus. Yeah. I know that, but hopefully
But you're all about the goth girl still. You need a goth girl for Jesus. That's what you need.
well, yeah, and that's the funny thing is
Make sure they're not into Wicca. That's a sign that she crazy.
How about we just get a repressed former Catholic schoolgirl?
Yup, my wife's looking at me with the evil eyes because she knows people, and I'm like, yup.
no,
It's a red flag, guys.
no more the repressed Catholic schoolgirls. Those are the worst.
Okay, she dabbled with Wicca as a teenager. No. I'm saying if a girl's like, I'm a Wiccan. Ooh.
No, I know
Run.
those people.
Run.
I can't run, but I can roll super fast away, and I have from those,
You can run, Sam. It's
Preferably
okay.
downhill.
I give you permission.
They got the chunky combat boots. They ain't running that fast.
That's true. They do got the chunky combat boots. You can roll way faster than that.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, because all of them are like mall witch motherfuckers, right? That watch the movie The Craft and the show Charmed, and they think that means that they know like the ancient witching secrets. Half of them will tell you shit from literally Charmed.
Yeah.
Talking about that one more.
It's insane. Yeah. So yeah, mall witches are literally like the biggest red flag I can possibly think of, except like a cam girl.
And sometimes they're
Goth
like-
girls, yes. Mall witches, no.
Cam girl, mall witch.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
mean Venus Satanis? Oh fuck, that's
Yeah.
a reference only I get.
Thank
Years
you.
and
More.
years ago, Sam.
Thank you more.
This woman, Venus Satanis, was a big like Satanist on YouTube, and she would talk about it, like how people used to make religion videos, right? That was a hype thing where they just talk into their camera, and like it was all a front because she's like an old school cam girl, and I pointed that out and like on a video that like all her shit leads to her cam girl stuff, and you probably shouldn't take her all that seriously. And I got called a misogynist and all this fucking shit.
Oh, so like tequila then, basically.
and like all the Twitch girls, or the majority of the Twitch girls, now they all link to fucking OnlyFans.
Yeah, nowadays they'll all link it together, right? But she was embarrassed. She got mad at me and shit. My friend, that's the thing is I didn't even dig into it. My friend did, and he fucking bought like a cam show from her and recorded it. It was like this is like when you peel back all the layers of her satanic, which was very mall witchy, but she's edgy because she's Satan, right? And it was all just very cosmetic, like I'm spiritual, not religious kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And it was all to draw you in because she's a pretty goth girl, so you go to her cam show. And I just made a video saying that's what it was.
Oh.
You'd figure she would like the attention because she does the cam show. She makes way more money off that.
Oh yeah. So that's what most of the mall witch girls at my height.
That was in the late 2000s, Sam. I wonder if she still does cam shows now at 40 something.
Yeah, you might be surprised.
I should look into that. That would be funny.
You might be surprised.
Anyway, I figure if I made the reference, I should explain it, that it was some satanic mall witch I made fun of for being a cam whore. Also, just using that's another thing is there's poser goth chicks that like the aesthetic, but they're not goth chicks at all. They're blonde cheerleaders who wear goth stuff. That's the thing too now.
Yeah, there are a lot of them that do that.
I'll even bust on my wife a little bit because she's definitely not like first wave goth. She's like second wave goth, which is like the 2000s. But that's because that's her age group. Of course, she's not going to be a 90s goth because she was like a kid. I wasn't even a 90s goth. I had a friend who was, though. Full trench. He wore a trench coat every goddamn day. It's just that he graduated before I did. Motherfucker.
I don't even.
I got so much shit when he was gone.
See, I was never a goth, but I was never a jock, and I was never a nerd. I was kind of in my own.
I was the king of the weirdos. Like I had a collection of like all the weird people that sat with me at lunch.
I was just kind of in my own.
But then we would not even like we're the outcasts. Like we controlled the lunchroom. Like you don't sit in my fucking seat, bitch. We might have been the weirdos, but that's the benefit is everybody's afraid of you.
Yeah,
I was the leader of the Magic Kids, as in Magic the Gathering.
I mostly did video production, and that's why I was with all the weird esoteric. I think I've told this before. The goth kid, me, and one of the head cheerleaders, that was my team for 1 year for the news show for the school. And it's because nobody else wanted her, so we took her in, and it turned out to be awesome. She smoked pot with us, and we got into all kinds of trouble. We got 5 episodes banned. We got suspended. We corrupted the shit out of her, and she had because she had never gotten in trouble before. And she loved it. She liked it.
That's that is very based.
Yeah, by the end we were a fucking trio. You couldn't separate us. But like I say, then my boy graduated and things changed. But that was the best year where we had that team because we exposed corruption in the school. That's one of the ones that got banned. Is we asked the janitors because they were taking away the janitors' closets and moving them into the back of the shop class area. And so we did an interview with them, and the principal called us in and told us we were suspended because we let the janitor say what he thought about it.
So you literally were a censored journalist. That's based.
Yeah. Because all the janitor said is we ain't got enough space as it is. It's hard working here as a janitor. And I was like, yeah, I could respect, bro. You know?
It would be funny to if you could. I doubt it.
And then they let us smoke weed back there after that because they were so cool with us.
It would be really
None of them ever partook, Sam.
Oh, I'm sure not at all. So
what's the statute of limitations on that? A year? It's been fucking 20 something.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah, I smoked weed with the janitors, and we got to be good buddies, and we actually went there to show the new classrooms. That was the assigned story. You see? And we went to the new classrooms, and the janitors let us in, and they were like, "Yeah, we fucking hate this shit." Because they're moving us to the fucking back of the shop class, and we got no space for our trucks and shit. And we're like, "Yeah, fucking principal and his fucking bullshit." You know, we all started talking, and my boy was like, "Yeah, fuck the man," and he pulls out a joint, and the janitor's like, "Yeah," and we all smoke a joint, and we recorded the fucking interview stoned as fuck, where they were like, "Yeah, they took our fucking closets, they took our dressing area, and they took our private bathroom," and then we submitted this serious, hard-hitting report on the corruption of the school doing this to get a grant or whatever, and they're fucking the janitors. And we got suspended. And the crazy part is, Sam, we didn't get suspended for smoking weed. We got suspended for the story.
Of course.
Yeah. I'd have accepted the other one. I'd have been like, yeah, you got us.
Yeah, that one would have at least been legit. But
yeah, I did get suspended for smoking cigarettes a couple times outside the waiting for the bus.
yeah. Joe Fish says the big thing now is OnlyFans girls converting to Christian and trying to teach the Bible or the I have no problem with that. We've actually talked
my problem with that is that they're not good teachers, but otherwise it's better than being a slut, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah. We've talked about that very thing on this show before. I don't think
but also scripture tells us that we shouldn't necessarily judge where the message comes from if it leads people to God.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard. I have mixed opinions on that, I guess.
Yeah, same here. But anyway, well, I don't think we
also,
have.
my father-in-law left me that message about women teaching scripture, Sam. Remember that? And how wives should obey their husbands. That was like his last message to me in his Bible. So
yeah.
Ow.
And also that you shouldn't let your wife beat you.
No, he didn't say that. No, just that wives should listen to their husbands. She listens, Sam, then she just throws a book at me. It's fair. It's fine.
Listen, I'm just trying to trying to help you
What's
out.
important, Sam, is that she listens. She couldn't not be listening. Otherwise, why would she get so mad? You see?
Well, to take things from her side, like she's kind of trapped in a room with you, so she kind of has.
How is she trapped? There's a whole house here. She puts up with my bullshit willingly. God bless you for it.
Yeah.
Who else? She puts up with my bullshit from my son.
Oh, yeah.
And it's totally my bullshit, Sam.
Oh, good. So he's
except he doesn't know when to slow down. Something, you know what I mean? Like he'll tickle mom and just never stop, and she can't breathe.
So he's learning. He's learning then.
Unfortunately.
Or he loves to trick her and scare her, like legitimately. That's like one of his and me. Most of the time, I let him have it though. It's hard to scare me. He gets me sometimes. I'll be honest. He got me earlier. I was coming up the stairs, and when I opened the door, he was just like, "Boo!" And I was like, "Ah, yeah, he got me." He's like, "I got you, Dad." And then I tried to do it back to him. Like I waited a second. I went, "Boo!" And he's like, "You missed." I win. How do you argue with that, man?
He loves to torture me with his girlfriends.
Oh yeah, and I got another one for you, Sam. If you got an extra minute or so. I go to school today to get the boy, right? And he's so excited. He runs out to me. He's like, Daddy. And he's like, I got a sticker. And I was like, cool. He showed me. It's a B. He's like, it's Mr. B. And it says, you did an unbelievable job. And he's so proud of it. And I'm like, oh, the teacher gave this to you? And he kind of just didn't answer me. He was like looking at dogs and stuff. And then so as because there's dogs and babies outside the school. Man, the end of the school day for an elementary school when you're the walkers is some of the most like precious shit you'll ever see. Like every little kid runs out like, Mommy, Daddy. You can't help but be like, oh. And there's dogs in there. The dog will be like waiting all day for the kid, and it's like, they run up and get him, and it's like, oh, come on. And then my boy wants to pet every fucking dog and see every baby and pick flowers with his little girlfriends. And so I'm asking him, okay, we walk away, now we're walking, and he's just with me, and I'm like, hey, well, what the teacher give you the sticker for, right? And he said, not teacher. I was like, it wasn't from a teacher. Well, who gave you the sticker? Because it looks like a teacher sticker, right? Girl. Which girl? And he literally just points to the little girl that I see, her and her mom, like we every fucking day walk together, right? We wait at the damn the crosswalk together every fucking day, you know, before and after school. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then she turns around and she's like, hi. And I was like, aw. And she is always making goo-goo eyes at him anyway.
You know.
And then when he dropped the sticker, trying to give it to me, she's like, Mom, turn around, look, he has my sticker. And then waiting for the crosswalk, they sat there talking about the bee and how my son, because he's got a stuffed animal that he really enjoys called Mr. B. And so the sticker looked like Mr. B, so she got it for him.
Oh,
she knew, yeah.
That's sweet.
And then when we were telling the story to my mother-in-law, her mother, he added friend to girl, and he looked at her and went, because it was like, who gave it to you? My mother-in-law asked him, and he said, girl, friend. And my wife lost her shit. And it's not the first time, because he's had a couple girlfriends at this point or so he will tell you. He got kissed on the first day of first grade.
Well,
on the cheek.
That's based.
Yeah.
It's it'll be
scary. It's scary.
I'm just running the day when I finally meet him and he asks, "Hey Sam, can I borrow your wheelchair?"
Well, he used to ride on the chair with his grandfather. Actually, that was like one of the things they did together. So he's quite familiar.
Yeah, but like
he would probably, even in being big, probably ask you for a ride. He'd be like, "No, I can't give you a ride."
But
you're bigger than me.
Well, so one of the things that I actually did was I may not have a few times I might have lightly, like, not exactly.
You run over old people, Sam.
No, I lightly.
Not this time.
There may have been a time or two where I tapped a girl's back shins on occasion, so she would fall into my lap.
Ah.
Oh,
so
hey.
You're a perv.
I wouldn't say that. I would say gentleman American. That's my preferred.
A gentleman American, huh? Am I a gentleman American? Because he just said that it means perv.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm fucked.
Yes.
Us gentlemen American got to stick together, I guess.
All of a sudden, more is very quiet. So
let's put it this way. I got to the point where I could recognize all of the girls in my class by their backsides.
Yeah, see, maybe I'm not a gentleman American, Sam.
Yes, you are.
I only recognize one backside.
Oh, God. Stop now.
Well, listen, at this point in your life, that's good. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, at the point that I was able to do that, I was very single, so yeah.
Yeah, same here. But
I still never. That's why I say maybe I'm not in the club, Sam.
Well, no. Also, though, to be fair, sometimes girls would also trip to end up
because they want you to grab them by the pussy. I heard this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
they either trip or they accidentally on purpose drop something close to you and bend over in a very inconspicuous way where you get a full shot.
Oh yeah, that happens too. So
about Jesus, Sam.
We need Jesus.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we got, boys?
Well, I mean, he hung out with prostitutes too. So
I don't think he was fucking them all, though. I don't think he was staring at their backside, but he's trying to save their soul.
I haven't. I'm.
How deep of blasphemy are you ready to go, Sam?
I'm not hanging out with all of them in that context. So, anyway, though, Thanksgiving show next week. Yeah. So.
What about the sandwich makers? They gonna make any Thanksgiving sandwiches?
Yeah. that is a good question.
We probably will be doing a show talking about how our Thanksgiving.
They'll probably do a show talking about how their Thanksgiving, and I'll make sure to take nice pictures of my delicious turkey.
I'll even put them up when we do our show.
Last year,
as of right now, we're intending to do a Bits and Bones episode. That may change. Don't know yet.
if you saw famously last year, Sam, my turkey, I named him Tom.
Yeah.
And he actually carved some girl's name into his chest. It was weird. So I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
My turkey Tom, he carved some girl's name into his own chest. I have pictures. They're up on my Twitter if you want to look back a year. It was weird how that happened. I don't know.
Yeah, that is weird. So
anyway, so we'll have a Bits and a Bones, and there's a Maxine's Mortuary coming soon because you guys already recorded it.
Yep. That show was fun as hell to record last night.
I've been playing Stalker 2, like I told you before we went on air, Sam. That shit's pretty dope. A little bit tense because it was whooping my ass.
I have a podcast that I appeared on last night. I can't announce it yet, but as soon as it releases,
the Naked Yoga pod. Oh, damn it! I spoiled it.
Well, I mean, listen, that's check
out Sam on the Naked Yoga podcast next week.
Dang it. You weren't supposed to spoil the surprise, Max. Now I'm going to have to tell them they have to release it early because the secret's, out.
Well, I mean, the fans are demanding it, obviously.
Yeah.
It's literally just one guy.
Yeah. Alrighty, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week. So until then, don't do anything we want to do, and also, purchase blood ties. It makes a great Thanksgiving read and stuffing stock.
Hey, if you're gonna be, sitting in a car while you family drives and you're not driving, obviously, pick up a copy of Blood Ties, maybe on a plane as well, Sam, traveling for the holiday season.
Yeah. Audiobook coming soon, hopefully, too. So
there you go.
Alrighty, folks, we'll talk to you down the road. Thanks, everyone, and see you next time. Later, Gator.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless, God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.